You have to gain weight. Sacrifice my relationship with food. It's yo-yo dieting. Oh, I'm crying. Take one. Yes, I gained 30 pounds in 6 months and it was not pretty. Let's talk about it. On today's unboxing episode, we're gonna unbox the time I had severe weight gain. Have some giveaways. There is beautiful weight gain journeys on YouTube. Stephanie Buttermore, of course, is the GOAT. There's girls with EVs who are putting on weight that are so mandatory. There's athletes that have been a low body fat percentage that are putting on weight to get pregnant. There is so many beautiful weight gain journeys. This is not that. This was not extreme hunger. I did technically have like a little experience with extreme hunger, but that's a whole nother story. Like, it was very, very brief that I was like, that I can kind of resonate, but I never went through what she went through. Because of all these weight gain journeys and being a quote unquote skinnier, leaner, I'm just long girl on YouTube, I constantly get questions, be like, Keltie, are you gonna go all in? I'm just like, guys.
No.
I've been all in. I've been all in my whole life. I eat intuitively. So I listen to my body. I feel like very good intuition towards my body cues when I undereat, when I overeat. My body is just at its natural set point. I just don't vary. Kind of, I go on vacation, I come back, my body always is in this range of about 5 pounds. It ups and down naturally. But this story is about the time I pushed past that. This is the time I did a dirty bulk. I mean, your creepy uncle's dirty stash that shows up for Thanksgiving dinner. Dirty. When I went from this to this. I blew out my knee playing college basketball. That was the end of my career. During the time I was rehabbing it. While I was rehabbing it, I had to just pretty much do weight training. I no longer had sports while I was rehabbing. And during that time, I was in a really dark place. I was self-reflecting. I was never gonna go pro. And I was kind of like, I'm putting my body through so much. I just came through surgery. And I just had an existential crisis and decided to quit basketball. During that process, I found weight training. I found the weight room. And it was just nice to train in a way not just specifically for a sport. I've done that for 18 years of my life. It was the first time I didn't, and I really started to enjoy it. I've always trained like an athlete. I always did explosive training. I always did running. So I went from weight training and then a lot of track workouts, which is ironic. I'm on my running streak right now. I lived in Alberta. For my Americans, just think Texas. Growing up, I always had this dream of being in a Nike commercial. I've talked about it before, but I just envisioned like being athletic and like making little motivational edit, like, which now seems so common, like anyone can do this, but back when I was in high school, the only places that existed was Nike. Before every basketball game, every volleyball game, every swim meet would watch Nike commercials. And I envisioned, I was like, I want to be in that. So I started training like that. That was what I always had in the back of my head. What does that mean? Bodybuilding. Everyone who's bodybuilding just rolled over and died. When people are seeing me weight training all the time, they saw me in the gym, I started getting the question of, are you competing? And I remember just starting like competing, like, what? And then I started to realize that was like gym logo for that you're doing a bodybuilding competition. It must have been because I wore a lot of really bad fake tan. And then my mind started going. Instagram was starting to get big. I was following a lot of YouTubers. I had this vision to make videos and motivational things and sports and all that, and I was like, to one day be in a quote unquote Nike commercial. So people started asking, and I was like, you know what? Piecing the puzzle together. And I was like, if I do bodybuilding competitions, if I get really good at it, it will get my into the fitness industry, and then Nike and these big brands like Adidas and Puma and Gymshark was just starting to bubble up, would want to sponsor me. Looking back, I was like, you could take this linear route, or you can go like, and that was the route I decided to take because I was from Edmonton. There's very small idea of what fitness was. It was kind of, you either did group classes, you were like a yogi, or you were a bodybuilder. It was kind of, those are your three. Actually, perfect time to unbox. While I'm up, I will give Gymshark a little love. This outfit, can we just take a moment? I'm so happy with this right now. Please don't say I look like Sailor Moon, because I was like, I beat you to it, trolls. We're gonna talk about different running shoes. So yes, I'm gonna unbox Lululemon just released shoes. This is not sponsored. And if you follow me on TikTok, you'll be like, Keltie, you already unboxed this. I'm like, you're right. I reboxed it for YouTube. Gonna be completely honest, I'm very underwhelmed by these. I saw these and I was like, if a Sims character had a pair of sneakers. I was like, this is the design? But back to the story. Now I have a character flaw, tunnel vision. Give me an end goal and I will go. I will block out everything. I will block out people's opinions. I will block out everything. Great, unless you find halfway through that you're in the wrong tunnel. And that's what happened to me. I just ended basketball. I've been competitive my whole life. I just naturally need that. Now I realize sports is just foundation. You just need some kind of goal to work towards. You need a competitive outlet. You need community. And bodybuilding did give me that. I started competing. When I started the first 2 years, the first year was just very like, oh, let's hop on stage, like eat some asparagus. Second year was definitely not healthy. It was the classic, you hear the horror stories. It was before people were educated about bodybuilding and carbs. It was just like, oh, you do bikini, just starve yourself. Like that was literally it. And then after those 2 years, I actually did find a really great coach. He really cared about my health. I also experienced what they call being a hard gainer. I do not gain muscle easily. I'm long-limbed, fast metabolism. I've always been, like you said, a runner's body. Played sports like volleyball, basketball. It's very jumpy, explosive. Always had a real tough time gaining muscle. I just never had body type to just get a thick, juicy peach. So my coach brought up the idea of doing a bulk. And what no one talks about in the fitness industry is the chronic yo-yo dieting cycle so many people are on. That's what this story's about. Was it fun? Oh baby, the first 3 weeks, so much fun. I was just like gluttonous. I was like, oh, this is so fun. The gains, the veins, the pump. I felt juicy in the glute. It was a fun 3 weeks. I was gonna do this in this video, but I wanted your guys' comment. I've started collecting the best energy drinks of all time. I thought we could do a taste test of all of it. You guys have a chance to win. A little sneak peek. These are the top 3. This is the New York, Barcelona, Paris of the world. This is your hometown. It's beautiful. This is like Vegas. It's nice and it's wild every here and there. So do we want this? Comment down below. Back to the story. What did I do? First of all, I was eating anywhere from like 2,800 to 3,500 calories every single day. And the real issue, eliminate all cardio. Because the idea is any cardio you're doing, you're gonna have to increase that when you come into prep and dieting, and there is truth about that. You don't want to be doing excessive cardio, but at the same time, you have a thing called the heart that needs cardio. I had about 6 days of the week. It was pretty structured because it was off season. I was allowed to not be perfect about it. And then I had one cheat meal a week where I could just go ham. And I remember being in my mind so scared of cardio. There was one moment and I look back and I'm like, oh God, this is everything I'm morally against. I lived a block away from a 7-Eleven in the middle of spring, beautiful weather. It's very rare in Canada. I got in my car and drove the 1 block to 7-Eleven to get whatever I wanted to get, because I was scared of losing gains. If walking 100 meters made you lose muscle, no one would have muscle. So what started to happen? I have never felt so unathletic in my entire life. Even there was a period after basketball ended where I was in my party phase for a little bit. I don't think I worked out for like 6 months, and I felt more athletic then, just dancing in the club, than I did during this time. So my clothes stopped fitting. Everything like I had ever worn my entire life no longer fit me. So I had like 2 pairs of leggings I wore and like 1 hoodie and a pair of Uggs, and it was like, oh God, insert photo. Like that is what I wore every day for like 6 months because that's all that fit me. Speaking of cute, let's talk about these shoes. I will say though, but I was like, oh, that's kind of Lulu's thing, minimalism. I'll show some other shoes. So I wanted to do a comparison. A lot of questions I get about running. I like these because they kind of have a bit of a flat bottom and they're not overly cushioned. So this would be a nice hybrid shoe versus a running shoe like my Nike Pegasus or a Hoka. You can see it have like a thick sole. That's to just cushion the constant. You're doing this when you're running. Versus when you're doing weightlifting, you want a flat bottom. That's why people use things like this is a flat bottom shoe. I would not wear these, but like you see people wear Nike Blazers or Converse, that's why they want the flat bottom. But there's an example, and these ones I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but what you kind of do want to look for is just, this is a nice little support. You want some good ankle support, but allows some from free mobility. That's why I don't really like people who wear the Blazers and Converse. I like the people. I just don't like the shoes when weightlifting. I like like against people that wear Converse and Blazers. I love them. Some of my best friends. Hey Ashley, look at you. Other Ashleys, go drink some water. I just find when you get into the bottom of your squat, and this is just me, everyone's gonna be different when you get in the bottom. Like you want the ability, I know my knees over toes, that's a whole nother topic, but you just want to have nice ankle flexion regardless of what that goes. And I just, for me personally, the Converse and the Nike Blazers, I find limit that. Like Metcons, the Noble shoes are a great example of that. A big reason I left bodybuilding and why this bulk was so bad is it was like the all or nothing mindset, which I do think if you have goals, sometimes you have to have really tunnel vision, and I've had that, but is it worth it? Do you care that much about all the sacrifice you have to make? And at the end of the day, I didn't really care about being Miss Olympia, the best bodybuilder. I was like, no, I just wanted to create content. I love fitness. I love working out. I love moving my body. I wanted a way to do workouts and sports and different fitness for videos and storytell. In bodybuilding, it is very black or white. It is very, you're willing to do these kind of things. You're willing to throw away so much of your social life, because in the off season, you're bulking, and then when you're dieting down, you're restricting and you can't go out as much. And yeah, you can make it quite flexible, but if you really want to take it seriously, you do have to make a lot of sacrifices. And it's sacrifices in things that I don't want to sacrifice. I don't want to sacrifice going out with friends, going out for dinners, my cardio, my health, not being able to run. Like, those are the things I don't want to sacrifice. And also, I don't want to sacrifice my relationship with food. Food for me is social, it is love, it's connection, it is art, it is something I'm so passionate about, exploring the world, and I think it's a great cultural representation. Like, you truly know someone when you have a meal with them. And bodybuilding, regardless of how healthy you do it, will warp your mind towards food, because food becomes such a number, and it will start to create a now or never mindset, which I very briefly experienced. There was probably 2 moments, like I was trying to eat healthy, wholesome food, and then cheat meal. Or you're in a severe diet, and then the competition ends and you're set free. Either way, it's this like restrict, freedom. 2 times it happened. And neither was at the end of the show. At the end of the show, I think I was like, oh yeah, I had a day or 2 of fun. And then I was kind of over it. But there was 2 times in the bulk. So even though I felt overweight, I felt slow, I didn't need any more food. My glycogen stores were full. It was this clean eating, cheat meal mindset. I remember, I'd been eating all day. That's the whole point of the day, was just to eat. Gluttony, just to eat. And I've never struggled with binge eating. If you're struggling, like, I feel so much for you, because just having that briefness, and that's how something so innocent can manifest. Because had I kept competing, had I kept doing that week after week after week, that's how you create binge eating tendencies. So I hit my absolute peak at about 30 pounds in about 6 months. I think I was in the 150s. And nothing wrong, if you're 150, if you're over 150, that is fine. It's an irregular number. It means nothing. It's all how it sits on you. For me, just how it sat on me and how I felt, like, I had no hunger. I felt lazy. I felt unathletic. Like, just getting up off the couch, like, that was the thing. Like, getting up off the couch, I remember sitting there and being like, I've never felt so not me and not well. And that's gonna be different. So I'm not saying 150, and I'm even scared of sharing numbers, or 30 pounds, because people are gonna hear 150. No, there's so many different factors. You might have more muscle mass than me. You might have more, like, a bigger literal heart. That's weight. So that's why I was like, weight means absolutely nothing. We ended the bulk. We just stopped with the cheat meals. We just added in a little cardio, and the weight just, I hate to say this because a lot of people are like, oh my God, but like, the weight did fall off. It didn't fall off, it took several months. When I just started living how I would normally live, my body eventually went back to its set point without any negative consequences. There was no period loss, there was no hormonal imbalances, there was no loss of energy. Like, I felt better each week. It was a big eye opener. I threw away a lot of things in my 20s doing bodybuilding. I don't regret it, because I met my best friends. I did learn some great things about fitness and nutrition. I learned self-discipline, but I threw away so many things that would have led me closer to my goal that I'm doing now, that I'm like, oh, if you just hadn't spent those whole summers just caring about dieting, if you didn't just care about gaining weight and gaining muscle, like, there's so many other time-consuming things I would have done that I'd be so much more passionate about. And not to mention money. The amount of money I spent on bodybuilding, I wish I put that money towards music. I didn't go to music. I know you're gonna say, Keltie didn't go to Coachella when she was 21. Oh, poor her. I get it. There were so many of those things I wanted to go to, but I didn't have the money. I wish I kept going to festivals, not just to party, but to actually experience music. Once I quit bodybuilding, I had that extra source of income, and I started going to things, and it really, like, set that fire under my ass that I was like, no, I want to get into that. I didn't get into that to my later 20s because I was so hyper-focused on this goal that wasn't actually leading me to where I wanted to go. It was just more like, oh, I thought I would get respect in the fitness industry if I go down this route. And let's even talk about the fitness industry. That's why, even though I guess I fall into the fitness category, I don't consider myself in the fitness industry. I have no idea what industry I'm in. It's so confusing. Bulking and cutting is yo-yo dieting. There is cases when athletes specifically go through cycles of just being in a bit of a surplus, a bit of a cut, especially athletes that do have sports like MMA, why can't I speak, where you actually do have a weight component to it. But a little bit of bulk, just putting on some extra, that can be beneficial. But this extreme bulk justification to this extreme diet, if you took that out and you took out the label of bodybuilding or fitness and you looked at it, yo-yo dieting. What is yo-yo dieting? You have a goal. You diet down extremely for it. Once you get to the goal, you try and maintain it, but you realize how you're eating is not sustainable. So you add in a few things. Before you know it, you've put back on the weight. So you no longer can go how you did before. So you try a new diet, or you go back to your really restrictive one. And that's what bodybuilding is. Let's call it what it is at the same time, yo-yo dieting. And it was just like, that is what I'm so against. I spent my whole life not dieting, especially not yo-yo dieting. And suddenly getting more into fitness resulted in the worst things you can do to your body.
Okay, worst thing possible for your body is a slight exaggeration.
I was like, that just felt very contradictory to why I work out. That's why I'd rather just sit in my little corner, kind of in the fitness industry. I'll do my challenges, but the fitness industry, I'm like, we're acquaintances at a party. We talk, we're good. We're like, hey, how's it going? And then on Monday, I'm just gonna not call you. Like, that's why I've never sold programs or done stuff like that. It was more about the content creation. Sorry, that word of influencer, but you know what I mean, like just creating things. That was what I wanted to do, and I thought bodybuilding would allow me to start, you know, documenting a prep and get into the fitness industry and meeting people. But when I broke away and just started actually just focusing on the things I want to do, I started listening to podcasts and reading books and training like an athlete. And when I started doing all those things, things started falling into place. There's no right or wrong way to go about anything, but if you just do the things you really want to do and keep getting better and better and better at them, like with TikTok and YouTube and podcasts and social media and the internet, if you just do what you love and create a really great community and you just keep focusing on that, you can make a career out of it. And I've been so blessed to. But I had to break away from what people in Alberta told me, like, oh, you want to get into fitness? You either be a spin instructor, yoga instructor, or you do bodybuilding. And those are your options. No. We're no longer the 9 to 5, 3 job options. We create what we want to create nowadays. What ended up happening through all this roundabout, when I got out of that tunnel and just kind of allowed myself to be open to opportunities, who slid into my emails one day? Gymshark. And what did I film last week? I filmed for Gymshark, hopefully, I don't think it'll be out by the time, but I went and just got to spend a couple hours on camera, shooting hoops, back in my old basketball days, for a commercial, you know, virtual commercial. And it was like when 18-year-old Keltie, 18 to 20-year-old was just like, oh, I want to do that. But like how? You know, but that's your 20s. Your 20s, you'll learn a lot of things. But it was just nice knowing when I broke free from like these are your 3 narrow mindsets of fitness. And I broke free and started to be like, you know what? These are the things I love doing. I love documentaries. I love inspiring commercials content. I love music, and I love training like an athlete. I'm just going to keep doing that. I don't know where that will go. Somehow 360 ended up back to shooting hoops for Gymshark. And it was like, oh yeah, life is funny. We're going to get into the giveaway. So I put these on, and guys, I didn't like them at first. Like, they're a Sims character. They look so plain. But once I put them on, they're a mood. And I didn't think they were going to be cool. I didn't. But then I put them on, like, are they kind of... Maybe it's because I just feel like a hype beast. Anyways, but the giveaway for this video is you get to pick a pair of shoes. So comment down below what kind of sports performance athletic shoes you need. Do you need a pair of runners? Do you need a pair of weightlifting shoes? Do you need a hybrid shoe? Comment, and then you and me, we're going to talk, we're going to hash it out. Be like, ooh, I think you need a pair of Hokas. I think you could need a Nike Pegasus. We're gonna pick the shoe that works best for you, but just figure out your athletic goal. So the time I bulked and gained, was it worth it? I did put on muscle. I'm not gonna tarnish. The thing about bulking in the extreme is you spend so long in a deficit. When you're in a deficit, you're losing muscle. I'll never know. I can't go back in time and be like, oh, have you just ate a slight surplus or just at maintenance? Would you put on the same muscle? I don't know, but I have noticed since quitting bodybuilding and just eating at maintenance and never being in a diet phase, my body has changed in the best way over the last few years. I now see how my body can change so much easier, so much better. There's no health consequences, and I don't miss any more of life. Just trying to get a little faster, trying to lift a bit stronger, trying to be more explosive when I work out, and not being in this cut and bulk and cut and bulk. I don't want you to take this and be like, no, now I shouldn't gain weight. Like Keltie saying gaining weight is bad. No, an example of healthy weight gain is your thyroid hormones are too low. You have a low sex drive. Your body fat percentage is too low. You have down regulation of any sex hormones is a red flag. Your hair is out, your skin's bad, your nails are brittle. I think a big indication is just a hyper focus on food. Your day should not revolve around your food. And I'm a foodie. I love food. food is passion and enjoyable and it's a dopamine hit and that's fine, but it's like when you almost can't even enjoy the one meal because you're thinking about the next. And it's in the fitness industry, it's in the diet industry, and it's in all these industries. It's just, that's where it starts to be like, that could be a red flag that maybe your body isn't at its set point. But that was the time I gained 30 pounds. And it was not pretty. This is kind of all over the place, and I'm sorry it's not a challenge. I'm really focusing lately on bigger challenges that are athletic goals, that are like almost little mini documentaries, and I'm really excited. Like my 100 running one was, I loved, and I have another couple coming up, and I will be documenting my explant surgery. And I'm just loving these unbox conversations I get with you guys. It's just a way for us to connect. If you're ever feeling confused in the fitness industry, just go to one of my unbox episodes. You can even pause it, you don't have to listen. Just read the comments, especially in my last one, Muscle on Girls. I just want to thank you guys. I don't know, sorry, I'm gonna get emotional, how I lucked out to have like, oh, I went crying, the best community on YouTube, because I see other YouTubers and they get into their echo chamber and it's like, you have to gain weight, or you have to lose weight, or you have to be into bodybuilding, you have to be into fitness. And I read your guys' comments, and every single one of you was so different, but all celebrating each other. And like, I was like, I don't know how I got this. That there was people that were bodybuilders and they were talking about their insecurities with muscle and like how strong they feel and how they overcame that. And then there was mothers that were trying to accept their bodies and what fitness meant to them while they're going through pregnancy. And there was former athletes trying to find their place in the fitness industry. And that's what I always wanted. I just wanted to create a community of like people that want to work out, that enjoy it, but don't sacrifice life along the way, and have fitness as a sport. And I've talked about it before, but fitness should be physical health, mental health, mobility, flexibility, reduction of pain, and it should be sport, playing, community, and that's the foundation. And I didn't think it was possible because, and I've clickbaited my share and done those challenges, but I thought that's all fitness could be. And for the longest time, it was like, if I'm not talking about weight loss, no one's going to want to watch. But you guys are so smart, and you guys are just elevated, and I just want to say thank you for creating the most beautiful community. Every week I read your comments and I'm like, I'm not the biggest channel, but my god, you guys are amazing. So thank you. I don't know where that emotion came from. More of the story, hope you guys had a great day. Comment down below what athletic feats you want to achieve and you need shoes for, and I'll make sure to get those too. Most importantly, have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye.